parking lot on was the corner of Winnetka and Santa Rita. That parking lot. And so it's a lunch break because we're not allowed to bring food into Taft, unfortunately. It's actually the only LAUSD school that I know that doesn't allow it. So you guys are allowed to tell your parents to protest against this oppression. Speaking of oppression, we're actually in the Torah portion that is actually where the Jews are finally liberated. They're finally about to get out, and right before that, there's like three plagues that God puts the God turns on the Egyptians. Do you guys know what the plagues are? So there's 10 of them in total, right? This week we talk about three of them. Do you know what they are? Okay, locusts, right? Like grasshoppers that basically eat the fields. There's nothing left, no agricultural produce. And back in those days, those were the biggest assets of people. They didn't have phones or Bitcoin. They had corn. They had corn and wheat. So if your field was gone, it's over. You just lost your entire net worth. And then the next one is darkness. So I was actually very interested in talking about darkness because actually I don't know if you guys are watching the news. Tomorrow, actually, there's some 3 hostages that are being liberated. In the last 2 weeks, there have been 7 hostages that were liberated that were women. They were all actually not much older than you guys. Any of you guys are 17, 18 here. They were like 20, 19-year-olds, some of them. And they were just like IDF lookouts. They were supposed to look out to see if there's any enemy. And, obviously they were the first people taken. They spent over 480 days in captivity. And many of them actually spent their time underground in the tunnels. And the tunnels have no light. And this one girl that was liberated, her name is Nama Levy. She said that she was actually, unlike some of them, she was left to herself a lot of time without any other hostages. The other hostages, they had each other. They were able to comfort each other. They were able to take care of one another. For some reason, this one girl that was part of this unit, it was a military unit. She was isolated in a different area because they didn't, I don't know, whatever reason. And she spent so many days alone that she actually thought that she died. She thought, I must be dead. It's totally dark here. There's nothing here. I cannot move. Complete darkness. Just to show you the triumph of the spirit when someone is still able to be in such a situation. I don't know if you can imagine it, to be in a place that is claustrophobic, no air, no food for days, nobody talking to you, alone, and she managed to get out to the point that she thought she was dead. So this is actually the type of darkness that there was in Egypt, the kind of darkness that nobody could move. However, right across town, the Jewish people had light. And the reason why do you think God wanted to mix darkness with light? Okay.
There would be a balance.
A balance? No, because for the most part, most of the country was dark. I can understand. But yeah, in the world, actually, there is a balance. Like now, in the regular, normal world, there's darkness and light. Because the Egyptians, they didn't believe in a higher power. They didn't believe there's a God. In fact, the Pharaoh, the king, he thought he was God. And everybody believed he was God. And he made them think that he spoke every language, even though he didn't speak Hebrew. They thought that he actually never goes to the bathroom. So what he would do, he would actually go early in the morning to the Nile River, and he would, relieve himself. He would hold it in the whole day, 23 hours. No one's looking. Boom, goes out and relieves himself. So he was obviously just a regular guy that was a king. So anyway, God wanted to make sure that they understood that light, because they said, the sun is a God, the moon is a God, darkness is a God, light is a God. Everybody's a different God. He said, I'm going to join them together so they know that it's the same power. It's actually the same power. But the whole point, also another point of light and darkness. Why do you think there's a point, what's this point of darkness? Not just physical darkness, but spiritual darkness. Why do you think we had to go through such dark moments as Egypt, the exile, or even October 7th and its aftermath? Why do you think we need these moments?
I would say that those experiences make us who we are today, and if we wouldn't experience them, we would be completely different. Would maybe we would even be judged if we are not. Like,
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The whole idea is this. First of all, this is actually a physical fact that right before dawn is the darkest moment. Literally seconds before is very dark, right? But a second later, it's light. The whole idea is that the darkness is to understand the advantage of light. The advantage that if I turned off the entire room and there's no light and we blocked out the windows, if I took these little candles that we give you guys and I turned them on, this little candle would be able to like put quite a bit of light in this entire room. A little bit of light can expel a lot of darkness. This is actually a very famous Hasidic teaching of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Always talks about spreading light, spiritual light. Like being kind to others. So the whole idea is this: is that even though the Jews were in exile, they didn't look like they were ever going to get out. Suddenly, out of nowhere, God decides to take them out. This is actually the way you should always think. And whenever you're in a bind, in a difficult situation, the actual cure for the situation is right around the corner. You just have to open your eyes and have belief and amuna, faith that you can find the answer. And if you don't, pray to God. Pray to God. And there's so many miracle stories I've told them in this class of people who've been in difficult situations, and because of their faith, they were able to be saved. So anyway, that's that. And the last point I wanted to say is that you got at least the men here. You guys see that we put on tefillin to people. These are tefillin. Why do we do that? Well, what is the whole point? So this Torah portion this week, it discusses it. It discusses this very idea. Why do you put them on your arms and your head? Does anyone know? Okay.
Go for it. There you go.
I just know the head part is like for God.
Huh?
It's knowing God is like above, but as far as the arm,
That's one answer. Yeah, it's a good answer. There's no one answer, but go ahead.
From what I know, the arm scroll that you put here up close to your heart, and that's why you put it like especially bright here on your arm.
Yes. So the whole idea is this, right? What allows someone to be successful in life is the ability to control their desires and to control their thoughts. The world is bombarding you with all kinds of ideas. I need to be rich. I need to have 1 million TikTok followers. I need this, I need that. I need only material happiness. Meanwhile, you have very wealthy people that are super depressed, commit suicide, who have those things already. So how do you remain focused in life on what is really the truth? What is it? Is by binding. Why is it we put on our arms? So that we bind our actions and our heart, because our heart is what causes us to have certain desires, right? And then the desire goes and bubbles up to your mind, and then you have certain thought. Hey, I want to do this. I'm not really interested in. I don't want to go this Shabbat Jewish club. I don't want to go Shabbat. There's nothing. There's much more fun things to do outside than this. This is not what's going to make me happy. So when you put on tefillin, it allows, because you're turning it towards your heart, it actually binds and connects your heart to God. And when you put it on your head, which is your mind, is where your soul is. Your soul, do you guys know, is actually in your brain, at least to the most part. Some of it is actually revolving around you, but the biggest part of it is in your brain. So when your brain has the tefillin and your arm has it, it means that with my heart and mind, I'm connected to God. And it allows you to refocus on what the priorities in life are. So maybe you guys all always have clarity on what you need to do in life and be able to fulfill your potential. And the men here, I strongly encourage to put on tefillin, to say in your mind what you want to pray for, because it causes really amazing miracles. That's how I ended up putting on tefillin every day myself. I wasn't doing it before either, and then I saw miracles from it, and I wouldn't sell you anything that I wouldn't do myself. What?
I was gonna ask, do you believe that like the soul has a physical weight?
Does the soul have physical weight? So it's funny, I heard that when someone dies, there's 22 grams of that person's weight that disappear, right?
I heard that.
Right. So I don't know, in the Torah, does it say anything about that?
It should become heavier.
You become heavier. Okay, so
The soul carries you. Like
So anyway, that's true, right?
Yeah.
So anyway.